Hello and welcome to this video about the future of SEO. My name is Mark Möller. I run an agency called Ecom Experts. And in this video, we talk about if SEO is dead and what SEO is going to look like in the next, I want to say 1 to 2 years. So we will do this in the framework of Claude, and I have created a first principles thinking bot here. The bot itself still has a few challenges, but I think it's a good framework to at least kind of comment on some of the thoughts that are out there and how SEO might really turn out. So first of all, the way that the ChatGPT has impacted SEO in the last 1 year has been that there's been a flood of AI content for sure, and Google has responded to that basically by demoting or punishing a lot of websites that had no real authorship behind it. So basically some people got away with spamming AI content because they had a real business and that AI content was about stuff that business does. And then other people spammed AI content and they might have not focused on a specific topic, or Google determined that there's no real business case behind that content and then punished those websites. What that tells us is that Google is not super good at spending all of their resources on identifying what is AI content and what isn't. Google certainly has the capabilities, but I suppose the resource spend on that might not be justified. And they are also thinking one step ahead. If they were to spend a lot of resources on identifying AI content and punishing that, SEOs would just get better at hiding their AI content, and tools would be developed and investment would go into that direction. So just identifying AI content and then punishing that flat out is probably not what Google will do ever. So that means basically on-page SEO and content generation has gotten a lot easier, right? And that's what we will talk about in this video. How will this impact the different players in the SEO industry if on-page SEO and content generation has now become a lot easier? So for the sake of this discussion, it makes sense to talk about the different players in the SEO industry. So for simplicity, we talk about the content websites, which would be affiliate websites, your average bloggers, and then on the other hand, the business websites, which could be e-commerce websites or local business websites. And for the purpose of that discussion, we've already said that the affiliates and content websites, they have taken an absolute beating in the last year. And I absolutely expect that to continue. So no good news for content websites. What can work well if you establish a content website in a very specific niche or industry. Let's say you talk about just yoga retreats inside of the USA, for example. And your business name is Yoga Retreats USA. And if you can actually build an audience of people who come to your website, they type in Yoga Retreats USA because, well, on the one hand, you're confusing Google with the exact match business name. So Google might think that this traffic are your actual customers. But on the other hand, if you can also build that real brand traffic over time, that people actually do come to you for your advice, newsletters and so on, now you have an actual chance of convincing Google that you're not just a content site talking about a million different topics and having no real business, but due to that focus, you may be actually able to convince Google that your content site has value and is a real business and therefore deserves to rank, even though you've used AI content to generate your articles. So on the other hand, we've got e-commerce and local SEO. That has not been affected very much so far. And this is where I want to talk a little bit about my constraint theory and where we dive into here our discussion with the bot. So basically what my constraint theory says is that even though it is quite easy now to generate content, businesses are often reluctant to actually use AI or to basically talk about certain topics. So there will always be limiting factors of why businesses don't go ahead and use that opportunity, or even if they're working with an SEO agency, that business might give the SEO agency a hard time in terms of, hey, why are you talking about our business in this way? You need to change the copywriting, you need to change the images, you need to remove the pricing table from the article, right? And that takes up time of the SEO agency to do all of those things, even though they could have created 200 articles. In the end, they just created 10. So on the one hand, not a lot of business owners might have tried ChatGPT yet, or tried at least generating a good SEO article. And then there's those other constraints that are also there, which means that people are not taking full advantage of those new capabilities. That is basically stage one, right? There will be a second stage. I predict that second stage to happen in about 2 to 3 years, where the SEO tools are so good and they provide a full pipeline where you can generate an article, you get a very well designed image to go with the article. You can basically put in your own brand voice. We've seen that already happen with some SEO tools, where you can now upload your clients' information or your own business information so that articles are tailored towards your business. So that's stage 2, basically, where all of that is automated, and then you're publishing directly to WordPress from the tool or to Shopify, and you're publishing content in a much quicker way now. Which, when that happens, that it's super easy to publish high quality content. At that point, it's essentially a level playing field again, because now everybody has the capability to publish very high quality content. And now there would be other factors that people would try to differentiate on, whether it's more backlinks, whether it's a better user experience, trying to build your brand to basically get more brand searches. We know that's definitely a ranking factor. So basically doing SEO still, but in other ways, because everybody can produce good content. We now need to find other ways to beat the competition. Okay, I'll just wrap up here real quick with the other reasons why the progress will be slightly slower than we want. It also has to do with the realities of running a business, because the people who are building the SEO tools to implement AI, they have issues such as hiring people who are good developers, bug fixing, all of these types of regular things that basically an SEO tool provider needs to do, as well as marketing and other things, slows down their progress, and means that while it's technically possible to have a fully automated SEO system right now already, because the LLMs are good enough, I believe, it's the other factors that are holding us back here. This just means that it pushes the time horizon out further by when we can have that quote-unquote fully automated SEO. And in this next part of the video, I will go into how you can take advantage of those developments. So I believe it's really important for everybody in SEO to build their own automations right now, because as mentioned, the tools, they face their own challenges and biases. So being able to have an SEO process that suits you and your team by building custom tools is really important. And thinking about the whole process from coming up with what keywords you want to target, to generating the content, to then publishing the content, making sure that this whole process is well thought out, matches the user intent, is aligned with an entity-based search system that Google is using. And this will be the main differentiating factor of the people who are going to win in the AI SEO age. I think the people who just use the regular tools like Surfer SEO, for example, they are going to lag a little bit behind because usually these tools are relatively slow in terms of adapting and at least offering you the full experience that you need, because Surfer SEO is just one piece. Even if they do add or if you use the feature to publish to WordPress, there will be still a lot of other challenges in terms of how you're going to select a page title that's actually going to work for you, because the page title suggestion tools right now are really horrible. So there's still a limiting factor there, that you need a human in the loop to choose a good page title at the moment. And this is just one example of how you're basically being slowed down if you're using the public tools. And then technical SEO and off-page is also going to become more important, as well as the user experience. So investing into understanding what makes a good user experience, learning about UX and UI design principles, all of those things can go a long way into making sure that your SEO career, if you are an SEO, will actually be a fruitful journey, as opposed to something that will come to an end because maybe you're only good at doing on-page SEO. And I believe in the next 1 to 2 years that will be completely solved, so that we even have automatic page title generators that are very good and accurate, and other tools that can even on the fly insert keywords into your sentences, perhaps based on what's inside of Google Search Console. So all of your on-page SEO skills may not be needed anymore in the future. So that's certainly something to consider. Basically broadening your SEO skill set if you haven't done so yet, and learning from other industries such as UX and UI design as well. So to wrap up this part, basically if you are already in local SEO or e-commerce SEO, or you're helping some national brands, you will be most likely fine for the next 2 to 3 years. Because SEO is just going to continue in the way it is now, with the exception of on-page SEO, which, yes, if that gets easier, cool. Now everybody has the same advantage. So you just need to find a different ranking factor, basically, to do significantly better. There's over 2,000 ranking factors, so there should be no shortage of that. And then, as well as applying semantic SEO and topical authority principles to the choice of which articles you're writing, is going to help you to stay ahead in an environment where on-page SEO and generating good articles has become a lot easier. But now the other question when people think about is SEO dead, is the demand side of things, meaning are users going to stop searching on Google and perhaps just use tools such as Perplexity in order to find answers? Now, if you haven't used Perplexity yet, I'll show you some of the searches that I've done here. So I've searched for a microphone issue where I've had a background humming on my mic, and Perplexity now goes out and looks at about 10, sometimes 20 different websites, scrapes all of those, basically feeds them back into their large language model, and then provides the answer based on those 20 websites. So this could then, if everybody decides that, hey, Perplexity is the way to go, this could significantly reduce search volumes from real people, making it so that the content side of things that even real businesses provide, especially top of the funnel, right? If you're solving somebody's issue with a microphone, you're probably not going to sell on that search query. So we consider that a top of the funnel search query. Those types of search queries would be affected in a world where the demand falls for searching on Google directly, and the answers are just provided by these tools. Now I can still see, okay, this answer here came from Microsoft, but again, top of the funnel, there's no intent to purchase. And so even though I see Microsoft coming up, you could call it a branding exercise. Cool. I know Microsoft exists and they are in this space, but further than that, it's not really helpful to the business. Meaning that in the long run, probably the content creation is going to fall away for these top of the funnel keywords. That would be probably just AI, and everybody's going to be okay with, yeah, we just create all the content with AI because tools like Perplexity just scrape our answer anyways, and nobody's going to buy from this. So why should we pay $250 to $500 to create one content piece that will never get any conversion and just gets shown as this little snippet here. So people are not going to pay 500 USD just to come up like this in some top of the funnel keywords. If we think about that a little bit more, it is a kind of circular feedback loop where, because LLMs are visiting websites and scraping the content and giving the answers, and website owners are using LLMs to create the content, you can see that it kind of becomes a circle where the content quality and potentially the integrity of the content could drop to a point where basically Google and these search engines will just prefer sources such as Reddits and forums, where people are actually discussing that and they're not aiming to create content, because that created content may actually be not of as high quality as these other sources that are created by real users. I think this widespread adoption of tools like Perplexity and also Google really changing the way that they present their search results is still another 3 to 5 years away, simply because Google is making 40 billion per year with their Google ads. And if the search results in Google looked something like this, it's a lot harder to place the ads there. And then there's also other search types such as e-commerce, where Google just loves showing all of the products at the top and they're making a ton of money with that. So in e-commerce, basically, Google has already taken over these search results to a point that in some cases, there's basically just 1 or 2 search results and everything is just ads that Google puts onto the page about products. So a similar thing would happen to the display advertising as well. Basically, if Google would not prompt people to visit websites anymore for keywords like this, right? You don't really need to visit a website here because you're getting it explained by the AI. Then there's also no option to really sell the display ads, because usually people would visit 4 or 5 different websites. They see display ads on all of those websites and Google gets paid from that as well. So thinking about how it would cut into Google's revenue if they would change all the search results to this, yeah, it would be a massive cut, and they're just not going to do that. So for the next 3 to 5 years, SEO is pretty much going to stay as it is right now, with the change that on-page SEO is getting easier, and the people who will benefit from that are those who build their own workflows and their own tools in order to really help push their SEO forward, because the standard tools by default, right, if everybody is using it, it's hard to get an edge with just the standard tools that are out there. I hope this video was helpful to provide a bit of a different view on SEO, and I hope to see you in the next one. Thank you.